Yeah, because a lot of Nigerians who are aggrieved, who are talking about this issue, are saying that they support Buhari's fight against corruption. Fine, that's good. A lot of people love that. But is it going to be at a detriment of what the ground norm of our existence of the people in Nigeria here stands for, which asks for fairness and equity and balance in how people get what in wherever region they come from? I mean, talking about those who even worked with Buhari in the APC, some of those who are already aggrieved and saying that we are left out in the equation of things.
You are right, Shil, but the point is this. The point which I'd like you to hold on to. Buhari must have understood this. As I said, these are pivotal appointments. Chief of Staff,
the SGF,
and two others. Take a look. Let us leave the usual Nigerian ethnic, religious sort of thing first. Why would he make such an appointment on a critical day, on the anniversary of his betrayal by his peers? He's sending signal. Let us be very, very insightful. Let us leave aside sentiments. Buhari has been saying that he has got the list of those who has looted the nation. He said international communities have assisted him, that they have given him names. Now, like the Yoruba would say, I'm not so very good. Say, èèyàn lè fi làpálàpá sílẹ̀ kó máa bọ́ ẹ̀tẹ́. He wants to go. He wants to attack the thing from its root. It's very dangerous for him to do. But the man has got the courage that, well, I'm going to serve this country. If it is possible for me to draw a line that never again would people take advantage of their of being under arms to shoot their way to government. I know the political situation in this country. You do not have democracy yet. All the democratic institutions are being controlled, and by directly or indirectly by some of these military fellows. They call the shots. So if Buhari has a list of where the bulk of the money is, and you want him now to go after, in their own language, bloody civilians, he'll come back to deal with, civilians later.
Interesting. Yes. Dr. Braithwaite, I would like to get your thoughts on this issue of corruption, which you've mentioned. And of course, let's quickly show our viewers what the APC came out with this afternoon. They say they have, they released some lists about 2 weeks ago about some of the loot, alleged loot of the nation's treasury. And now they've come out with some more. They say 3 of them, and this I'm going to show you just in a short while. They say that, in their own words, they say the All Progressives Congress has listed new instances of the insane looting of the treasury by some officials of the Jonathan administration, saying the corruption mess that characterized the administration was so pervasive that until it is clean, Nigeria will not be able to actualize its potentials. Well, let's take a look at what they are talking about this time around. These 3 instances, they say there's a mind-shattering $2.2 billion US arms scandal. And it's also mentioned a $6.9 million fraud by the chief security officer to President Jonathan, committed under the guise of buying 3 mobile stages for the president. And the third one is a 2.5 billion naira scam involving the rent of houseboats. These are the allegations from the APC against the Jonathan administration. Well, the PDP is not taking this line down, and they've responded to it. And this is what they said. The publicity secretary of the PDP has said, Oli Sometu said this afternoon also, that the PDP has severally expressed its support for a holistic fight against corruption, and we have challenged the federal government to investigate and prosecute all corrupt persons, irrespective of ethnic and political situations. We are therefore appalled that instead of getting serious with the challenges of governance, the APC is bent on inventing excuse for its crass incompetence to create and manage wealth to the detriment of the nation. That's what the PDP has responded with to the allegation of the APC. Dr. Braithwaite, what do you make of this situation?
Yes. Now, this is precisely the beautiful thing about this situation. The pot is calling the kettle black. Many Nigerians are not taken in by the holier-than-thou attitude of APC when it comes to pointing accusing fingers at PDP. And take the statistics. About 80%, if not more, minimum, of so-called APC leaders, APC front runners, they defected from PDP. That's number two. Number three, look at the character of personnel from both parties. You know, they have been the same recycled material. They have been the same that have been recycling themselves, occupying one position or the other since 1999, or even earlier than, before that. So now, Buhari may be a candidate of APC, but it was just because there must be a platform to be used. Buhari, the way I see Buhari is a candidate of the oppressed, of the voiceless, not a candidate of APC. He himself said on his inauguration that he wasn't anybody's man. So let us give him a chance. I don't see anybody, any president, any political leader in this country that can succeed in what we call hegemonism. That is tilting political power to any particular region, to any particular zone. It will not work. It will not succeed. The people are now more enlightened. Revolution is at the door. Revolution is at the door. I don't see any president, any political leader trying to sort of manipulate people's lives. Obasanjo tried it with his bogus third-term bid. You saw how the fellow ended. Now, the only thing that I would warn President Buhari, because I had heard him say that he was not going to concern himself with the national conference of 2014, I would urge him to reconsider such a position, because the outcome of that conference might not be 100% perfect, but that conference had done its best to try and remove the imbalances in the Nigerian national life, to sort of restructure, including going to devolution of power. I would not like him to simply dismiss that just to be opposed to what Jonathan administration did, but for any ruler, including Buhari himself, to think he can take this country the way he wants, it would be a pipe dream.
All right. Tell me, on a final note, because because our time is fast spent now, tell me, the president has set up a presidential advisory committee against corruption, which a lot of people have been talking about too, headed by Professor Ete Sage, a colleague of yours in the legal profession. And he has a list of very prominent Nigerians too in that committee. What do you make of that? What kind of ways do you think that the country should look into in fighting this menace, corruption?
Good. The fact that Buhari emerged as the president of this country is in itself revolutionary. And I will tell you, those members of his party who believe that they could get cover under him, or who believe that by association that their tracks could be covered, they'll be making a great mistake. There's a revolution in the country. We have been praying and working for this kind of revolution that you cannot have corrupt people lording it over hardworking, genuine, particularly your generation. They are not going to stand for it anymore. Either in respect to hegemonism, taking somebody, these are past ideas, or in finding people without visible means, living ostentatiously, cutting their money all over the place, having private jet all over. No, not even Buhari's kitchen cabinet members. We are in a state of revolution. We are in a state of revolution, and we should encourage it. You've seen in so many countries, so many nations, where ex-presidents, where former prime ministers, where former head of immigration are facing trial and being jailed for 100 years or even executed. I'm not advocating bloodshed. But the point is this: the voiceless, the oppressed Nigerians, that time has come, to sort of reverse the situation. Otherwise, there'll be no Nigeria. With all the potentials in this country, with all the resources, but mosquitoes and rats are sucking the lifeblood of the young generation. And we should encourage Buhari to go after them.
All right, thank you so much. Dr. Tunji Braithwaite, a former presidential candidate, a legal icon in Nigeria, and elder statesman, talking to us about the appointment and the issue of corruption. Of course, very passionate. You can see him there. Thank you so much for coming on the program. It's a pleasure having you sit with us here live on Channels Television.
My pleasure, sure.
Yeah. We'll take a short break, and when we return, there's some more Nigerians who are talking about this issue. I'll bring them on right after now. Join us again.